I'm Krista Smith, and I get to sit down and talk with the director and cast of Black Mass. The casting is superb. Every actor, no matter how small the part is, contributes to the whole of this picture.
I revere actors, and I always make note of what actors I think are doing really truthful, emotionally truthful, and psychologically truthful work. And Johnny in particular, because he's such a soulful and thoughtful and gentle-natured person. And he always physically transforms, but to see him emotionally and psychologically transform from the man that I know to the man that you see on screen, it's mesmerizing.
Working with him was the most gratifying and kind of inspiring thing that I've ever done. And the atmosphere on set was pretty dark, but he was just like
The unicorn.
He is a unicorn.
He's a unicorn.
We use that word.
Well, you see, like, you know, you when you grow up like me in Australia and you got all American TV, and one of those TV shows at the perfect time for me as a young man was 21 Jump Street. And then I sort of followed that guy. And as I started formulating ideas about becoming an actor, he was definitely someone to watch. And years later, you know, many years later, I get to work with him, and it's weird. And then I go, cool, I'm working with Johnny Depp, and then I stand opposite him in those scenes, and it's all the Deppness of him is all gone, all the tattoos and the jingle jangle jewelry and the hats and all. And there's, for all intents, there's Jimmy Bolger, an incredible kind of incarnation of him. But then Johnny embodies that in a way that's very chilling and belies the sweet-natured, affable man that he is.
There is that very, very pivotal scene between you and Jimmy Bolger. How was that, and how many takes was that? And I mean, obviously you guys just face off.
Scott, to my great relief, he did one setup on Johnny's side and one setup on my side. And I didn't really see Johnny that day. I was there for hours. We were in the sound stage. It was dark. And then suddenly it's time, like everything's got, all systems go, and knock, knock, knock. I open it, and there he is. And he's so good in this. He's always amazing, but he's so became that character while the cameras were rolling. And it was electric and terrifying and kind of sexy. Is that weird? Did you feel that at all?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, maybe that says more about me than I should be revealing. But
what is it about the gangster movie that you think still in 2015 it's still so vibrant?
Well, I think it's being able to, for 2 hours, to watch men and some women, think of Bonnie and Clyde, who live on the other side of the law. And that can be intoxicating. You can live with them for 2 hours and watch them do the sorts of things that they do, live in a very violent world, a very complex world, a chaotic world, yet you don't have to. When those 2 hours are over, you can go home to a much more, hopefully, peaceful life.
And you have an incredible Boston accent in Black Mass here. How long did it take you to get the dialect?
Leading up to any movie is like a kind of, to me, it's like a white-knuckling experience because it's so well documented that it's an accent that's up there on the chopping block for the locals are sitting there going, right. You know, I actually had a Border Patrol guy coming through into the United States who was from South Boston, and knowing we were doing a movie about South Boston, he literally, as I walked away from him after he stamped my passport, he's like, don't fucking up.
I think Joel did such an amazing job too, from the guy that you would see in the hair and makeup trailer and his like, you know, boots and shorts and Australian accent, to suddenly he's like strutting around with that hair and those clothes, and I thought he did such beautiful work, and he did such a good Boston accent.
I love Scott's other films very much. I think he does something really special with actors.
It packs so much into that 2 hours. It was really a genuine, for me, a total, like, that perfect movie-going experience.
Oh,
and
God, thank you
the
so
violence
much.
was there, but not
overt. Yeah.
Overt, yes, which I appreciated.
Well, I wanted to show the film in a really unflinching manner because, you know, they're victims and victims' families, that I didn't want them to think that I romanticized Whitey Bulger, that I glorified him or trivialized anything that they experienced. And you can do that if you're making a crime or a gangster picture and they aren't real life characters.
That's great.